the guitar wanted to start playing again. Funny how that is. Hello, welcome to episode 32 of the Blindsided podcast. Today we're going to talk about what we think about, what we talk about, what we fantasize or vision, dream about, and really what the program is that we've built over the years, that what we come from, what we give our attention to is what we attract more of in life. And boy, when I heard that formula and started picking it apart and looking at what was going on in my life, I went, no wonder why they said we become what we think about all day long. Ralph Waldo Emerson, or Henry Ford came out with, if you think you can or can't, you're right. It's like, so that's what we're going to be doing in today's podcast. My name is Charlie Collins, co-host of the Blindsided podcast.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brenda Hayden. I'm also a co-host of the Blindsided podcast and founder of Time for a 10. We are an emotional awareness coaching service. We help people challenge their conditioned thinking and get at the root causes of why they're actually disturbed or upset about anything. And we do that on the minute level. If anything bothers you or disturbs you, we peel the onion on that and get at what's really going on underneath, because you're never upset for the reason you think you are. And I'm excited to talk about manifestation today. Love it.
Manifestation.
Yeah.
So what is this principle, this law of the universe? I mean, I'm sure everybody on here remembers The Secret came out. And there were many years ago, Earl Nightingale came out with a record. There were no CDs or tapes, just records. And his record was called The Strangest Secret, because they don't know back then. They don't know what neuroplasticity is. Basically, that the brain can continue to learn. It can continue to grow new pathways, and you can change, and you can until you're older in life. So you're not, if you're practicing a way of living hardwired and you're not getting the results you want, you're kind of, we now know it's because you're attracting that, you're manifesting that. It's because, as Brenda will tell you, your conditioned thinking, and I won't steal it, but I have a feeling it's going to be from a certain age. But anyway, and so Earl Nightingale saying it's the strangest secret. But if you stay positive, if you think positive and vision positive and see your way through something you haven't done yet, you focus on the outcome. And, he said, I remember hearing this and going, wow. I mean, way back in the 60s, 70s, they're talking about something now that they have, of course, it's been a while, but proven.
Yeah, absolutely, Charlie. And it's funny because it goes back even further than that. They knew back during Einstein's time, right? They knew back during Einstein's time the significance of imagination, of imagining yourself in a certain light with, a certain type of life. Because Einstein, we just talked about this on our last podcast, because what Einstein said was, if you want your children to be smart, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be even smarter, read them more fairy tales. Because he said the imagination is much more powerful than knowledge. And then think about my other favorite is Wayne Dyer. Now, Wayne Dyer, when he was giving his spiritual talks, he would be on PBS. Do you remember that? He would, public broadcasting, he would do these incredible presentations and spiritual talks. And he said, we attract what we are, not what we want. So that was way back when. Is PBS still even around?
I think they are not. I don't know. I don't watch TV anymore.
I don't know either. But think about that.
Yeah. We attract what we are, as we go about our day. There was always this fake it till you become it. And fake it till you make it. Make what? I'm going to fake it till my bed gets made. So I like fake it till you become it, because we attract who we are. And if I want to, why would I fake? Why would I vision? I haven't done it yet, but why would I start to see myself successful in an area? because I want to become that person. Because once I become that person, I'm going to attract more of the same, more like-minded people. And it's completely happened throughout my life. And when I was younger, and I used to wake up thinking, dang, it's tough. Life's tough. This sucks. My blindness sucks. My only having a high school degree is really a problem. I mean, people are just, they're really difficult. And I'm depressed. I had those waves of self-pity and depression at times. I turned to alcohol, drugs. So I was doing the best I can with the imagination I had left. And I stopped doing that. As a young kid, I did, but as I got more confused and more suffering in my life, I stopped looking within and I started going without to find a way to feel better. And I had started attracting big time who I was, who
Yeah. Yeah. Haven't we all? And we're completely unaware that we're doing that. And this is an important point to bring up when we talk about manifestation. I didn't expect it to come up so early, but here's the deal with manifestation. So what we're talking about when we talk about imagining it, faking it until you make it, right? Is you're setting up a scenario internally in your mind of having that thing or that life or that job or that sense of ease and comfort or that sense of peace and calm. You're imagining having that in the moment, right? You see yourself having the exact thing that you're desiring, that you're aspiring to be, for example. But you have to believe it. So if you have, you can't just like, I'm going to sit here right now and imagine that I'm going to be an astronaut, right? And then I'm going to go to the moon. There's no way I believe that I'm going to be able to become an astronaut, right? So I can think that all I want and I can imagine that all I want, but I'm probably not at 60 years old going to become an astronaut. And the reason why I want to talk about belief is because there's many components to being able to manifest successfully. And you have to believe that you can. You have to believe that you can have that which you're desiring. So if you have blocks and barriers in your belief system, you need to clear those out, because you can imagine all you want. But if you then open your eyes and say, oh, that's never going to happen, or subconsciously that tape is running that says, oh, I don't really believe that, right? Then it's for naught. It's for naught. So you have to know that you are limitless. You have to have this basic understanding that it's possible, this basic belief system that anything is possible, that it is possible. What do you think about that, Charlie?
I think, well, what I think is that if I would, okay, say I imagined having a 65-foot boat and oh gosh, just being out in the water, and I'm gonna track that into my life. But is that reality? Do I believe it? Do I believe I could captain that boat? I mean, really get honest with myself. Is that a true inner prompting coming to me, through me, and from me? You know what I mean? No. But could I imagine being up on a stage and walking up the 3 stairs and then pivoting and saying hello to the crowd? Oh yeah. Yes. And how does that feel when I'm in that vision? It feels really good. And is it just, am I winning only? No, I'm delivering principles and life-changing help to people in my audience. And, so it's like all of a sudden I started seeing it differently, Brenda. It's like, I believe it's possible. And I was starting to believe in me. And when those two lined up, and then the vision even got clearer, and I could see where I wanted to be and go and do and have, but it was never just me. Oh, that's like a Dr. Seuss rhyme.
I love Dr. Seuss.
But you know what I mean? It was never, what am I getting on? I'm going to make more money in a bigger house. And sometimes people have vision boards. That's great. Sometimes people have vision books. That's great. Sometimes you can build a whole system on your computer, watch it every morning, and go into that space where you can see it, you can hear it, you can touch it, you can feel it. Because now you're activating all your senses, which are going to eventually, over time, you're going to believe it deep down in your sub and unconscious, whatever we want to call it, is going to say, oh, so I got to now, hey, look who called. Do you ever get a phone call at times because you were thinking of somebody and then you're like, yeah, dude, that's weird. I was just thinking about you. No, it's not that weird. It's called the law of attraction.
That's a great example. And I'm glad you brought that up. I was just thinking about that. Because a lot of people still don't believe that you can manifest what you want and what you're dreaming about. And it really is about awareness. So and I like to use the new car, right? I like to use the new car example. Like right now I drive a Toyota Camry, right? I never really noticed any Toyota Camrys on the highway. I never paid attention, but the minute I bought that car and I started driving it, I saw Camrys everywhere. It's because that Camry is now in my awareness, right? So I would see one and because it's in my awareness, I recognized it, right? It's in my awareness. The same thing with manifestation. When you start imagining and feeling yourself as having that which you're dreaming about, it's in your awareness, and things are going to start to happen as a result of that, because everything is energy and vibration. Everything is energy and vibration, including emotions. And we can get into all the scientific stuff. There's a great Chinese scientist who actually did an experiment. Did you hear about this? Where he would have, because water holds memory, right? It's called The Secret of Water.
I've
You can watch
that.
that. Yeah. So anger has a certain, created a certain crystal, and love created a certain crystal in the water, just like a snowflake kind of crystal. And so each emotion carried a different energy that created a crystal in water. So we know that thoughts actually have energy. We know that energy can't be destroyed. It can only be created. So when that manifestation energy with the emotion tied to it, and Joe Dispenza talks about this, he's great. He said, manifestation is great, but it works when you tie an emotion to it.
Mm-hmm.
When you tie an emotion to it, that goes out into the universe, right? And it stays there. It doesn't go away. So the other thing about manifestation is it may not happen overnight. I'll manifest something during meditation. I'll put a manifestation out there. And I'm like, wake up the next day, like, okay, I'm ready. Where is it? And it doesn't always happen the second or the day or the week that you manifest. You just keep doing it. You keep believing it. You keep imagining yourself in that place.
I like that. Brenda, sometimes when you're manifesting, when you're visioning, when your doors close and you're like, what? I thought I'm looking at improving, getting better and advancing, more success in my life. Really, I'm not going to manifest suffering. Oh, yes, I did. But we're going to talk more positive. But anyway, it's like a door got closed and then another door did. And I'm like, but Helen Keller says when one door closes, another one opens. But for some reason, we as humans look so regretfully so long at the door that closes, we fail to see the ones that open. Now, she couldn't see anything or hear, and she was able to use the power of imagination and visioning, and she had a very successful life with being blind and deaf. So go figure. What's your excuse? So anyway, I started noticing that if I'm going to trust and rely and put my faith in this and believe in it, then I got to go for it. And then if a door closes, I got to accept that. Don't try to figure it out. Just say, okay, maybe I'm trying to go self-willing it down the wrong path. And this universe, this law is saying that's not the right way. Doors closing. And they nudge you over to the right way. I don't know who they are. If there's a team of them running my life, probably not, but you know what I mean? And I started noticing because my phone would ring and Susie from Montana, who heard me speak over and 2 years ago at the Florida convention that I did, said, hey, we have one. Oh, How did that happen? You know, that's the type of stuff that happens for me.
That's beautiful. Before I forget, because it's kind of scrolling over here, I want to say good morning to Molly. And yes, Molly says yes. And good morning to Carrie. It's great to see everybody here this morning. Special shout outs there to your lovely family members. And so you talked about, it was 2 years later. 2 years later, you got that call. 2 years later. Yeah, we don't always know when something that you manifest is going to come to fruition, but we know that it does. We know that it does. So say more, Charlie, because my mind just kind of went blank. I interrupted my stream of thought by saying good morning.
Yeah, I hear you. So I have a neighbor who was moving into a new job and just did a bunch of applications and all. And I said, so what are you going to be doing there? What does it look like? What do you have an office? How many people are on the team? And what's your space? What are you going to be able to do in this? Are you going, and he's like, I have no idea. I said, well, why don't you sit back and think about that a little? Like, I can't wait to walk in and be a part of a team that I can share what I know when the time is right. I can assist others. I can help us all get to where we want to be, make it work more synergistically. And I'm going to advance because of that. I'm going to move up a little. Maybe I'll manage a team in a year. I'll make more money. I'll help more people. And he's like, dude, I have never done that in my life. I said, I can tell. I said, but that's the name of the game. Do you ever sit back? Gosh, we did it a while back. One of our episodes was keep dreaming. Take that time. But man, in this world today, it's like, how is it possible when you get 60,000 thoughts a day and you get bombarded with the radio and the internet and the driving with the billboards and the other people and the politics signs and all that? Oh my Lord. It's like, when do you have time to just connect?
Yeah. So about that, about making the time to connect, I want to say probably 7 years ago now, about 7 years ago, I made a decision to start meditating every single night. So every single night, I go to bed at a certain time. I changed the time that I go to bed so I'd have the 45 minutes to an hour to go inward and connect. And it doesn't have to be 45 minutes to an hour. It could be whatever's comfortable to you. But doing it consistently is what's important. But I make that time to go in and connect with my inner world. Just connect with it. You can't manifest really if you don't know yourself. It's so important to give yourself space to get to know yourself. And I was always afraid to do that. This is why I stayed away from meditation. I was afraid to go inward because I was afraid I wasn't going to like what I saw. I was afraid I was afraid that I wasn't going to like myself. And just the opposite happened. Just the opposite happened. Number one, I found an incredible world in there that's just bustling with beautiful, beautiful things, right? And I found a person that I really love. She's awesome. And I would have never known that had I not taken the time to go inward. And going inward also gave me an incredible perspective on my conditioned thinking. Because the thing, when I go inward, I'm in my heart where those 41,000 neurons are. I'm in that soul space of my existence. I'm in that soul space. And the head space, right? That little box that we talk about, that's so limiting and is full of conditioned thinking and trauma and experiences. That was running the show. And it was telling me things all the time that weren't true. And I was like, oh yeah, that's true. That person's a jerk. And this one doesn't like me. And that one did me wrong, right? And that activated mode, that conditioned thinking. And when I go into my heart, it's a completely different experience. None of that exists there. And so by making that time every day to just go inward, and even if, I'm not trying to manifest anything, just connecting with source, connecting with the energy of all that is and saying, hey, how's it going? And allowing what's going to come through that hour-long session and just being available for that present moment to receive is so huge in being able to successfully manifest, which I have done. I've successfully manifested.
Yes, I know. Because I've also witnessed you continuing to evolve and change. I know you've witnessed me, and that's the beauty of this stuff. I just wanted to say good morning to Cassidy and Evan, coming from Florida. I
Mhm.
hope you're not manifesting. Just kidding. Um, I sent them the to come in, and they both said they'd be here.
Mm.
So, hi guys and gals. Anyway, this isn't, Brenda, it wasn't like I don't deserve this, whatever this may be. See, I had lived so long in a
Yeah.
very small world of what's possible for me, because what was possible for me was taught by the outside. What's possible for people is the degree you get, is how much schooling you have, what letters, numbers, or whatever those things are after your name, DR before it, and and what class you're in, and what religion you are. I mean, those are all the things that would then be able to allow me to be successful. So I believe that. And I didn't do so bad weaving, not because of that, but because I had it. I had this knack for business and retail and just talking about things. I got excited over things, and people, that energy went into the people, and then they wanted what I had,
Yeah.
which was a motorcycle, which was the ski business, which was adaptive technology. I mean, it just kept. But when I changed and I realized it doesn't matter what I did, it matters who I am now and how I see myself. Do I appreciate, love, and deserve? And it's not about what I deserve anymore. It's how can I help? What can I do to make it a better place for those around me? And I don't know. I don't have it all figured out, but I know it doesn't matter what degree I have, for sure.
No, no. And degrees are great. Listen, I'm in school right now, and I'm really in school not necessarily because I wanted another degree. I wanted the training that's coming with the Spirituality, Mind, and Body
Yep.
Institute, and the people that run that place are just brilliant, progressive, awakened people, and I wanted that. Degrees are great, and kudos to those who have those kinds of qualifications, because it's really hard to get a doctorate. It's really difficult to go through that process of getting the education to achieve at that level. But we are much more, as we know, we are much more than that. That's, we're spirit, mind, and body. We're spirit first, mind, and body. That's what we are. There's three components that are equally important. One is not more important than the other. It just isn't. So in nurturing and a lot, I think a lot of in today's society anyway, and this is just strictly my opinion, a lot of people forget about the spirit part and they don't nurture it. They're all caught up in the mind and body part. And that's what we're seeing in the world with all the chaos that's going on, is people are not connecting to source by going inward. And if you're not connecting to source by going inward, you can't manifest the kind of world that you want. But here's the good news, Charlie. Here's what's happening. Enough of us now are connecting inward and connecting with source to make a difference in the world. And let me just elaborate on that a minute. I have this on my website, so2nu.com, which is just a blog, really. So there's something called the cell experiment. And what happened was they put 100 cells in a closed container, right? 75 of those cells were sick and 25 were healthy. And over a period of time, with no intervention, the 75 that were sick started mimicking the 25 that were healthy, not the other way around.
Mhm.
Because the good energy is more powerful than the sick energy. It just is. So that's a scientific experiment that shows that only 25% of the population really needs, because everything is energy and vibration. We know this from quantum physics. We know this today from technology. Everything is energy and vibration. Only 25% of the population has to be thinking the way you and I are, right? Being of service, helping. Like, I'm not manifesting $10 million. What would I do with $10 million? I don't need
Give
it. I
it to
don't.
me.
Yeah. But my manifestations have to do with being available to be of service to other people to improve the collective. Because guess what happens when I'm manifesting that? Guess whose life improves? Mine. Just like when I'm of service to somebody else, when I'm working with somebody on 12 steps or I'm coaching somebody, I'm getting as much out of those sessions, sometimes more than the person I'm working with. So that's the point here, right? So what's happening in the world now, and that's why we're seeing all of this negativity rise to the surface. We're all seeing it because we're awakened to see it where we weren't before. We were like this before. Now we're like, holy crap, what's going on? That's an indicator that we are awakening. That stuff's being raised to the surface to be released so that this new world can come in, which is the kind of work that you and I are doing. Woohoo!
I forget which speaker, which guru, whichever you want, but said by helping more people get what they want, you will always get everything you ever desired and wanted in life. But by coming out the doors, just focusing on getting what I want is going to be a harder game. Then why don't I see who I can help? And Brenda, you and I help people in a program that, and part of the program comes up to an ideal. And it's, sit back and write out your relationship ideal, because that's an area that people have that they attract the same type of person, an unhealthy one, because I can fix that. But I'm not going to get into that much, but we all know that we've attracted unhealthy relationships.
Oh, yes.
And I see it with people. They break up with, and then they got another person, and it's the same one, just with a different face.
Yes.
And then you write that ideal out, but you will never attract that person until you become that person.
Yes.
Because you only attract who you are.
Yes.
And I think you said that earlier.
I did.
So
Wayne Dyer said it.
I'm sorry?
Wayne Dyer said it.
Yeah, whatever. He's dead. And
Charlie, he was amazing.
He doesn't need the credit anymore. Anyway, so when I'm working with these guys and they're like, yeah, but I said, but let's continue to go through the work, and you will be that person and you will attract that person. So if you want to get a different place of work, you don't go to a place of work that's going to fix you. You go in there and how can I improve it and the people and then you will align yourself. All of a sudden, the universe will say, okay, he's got it. She's finally getting it. Let's start going into action for this person.
Yeah, it's a different mindset. See, and I like to look at it this way. The grasping for things on the outside. I got to have that job. I need that car. I need that house. I need this amount of money. I need, is all self-will. It's self-will. Self-will does not come from down here. And most of the time, that kind of grasping, what the energy that's really going out into the universe is I'm lacking because I need that. I am lacking. That's the message that you're really sending out. I'm not okay unless I have that. I'll be happy if I have that. That's a message of lack. That's a message that says I'm not enough right now. I'm not okay right now. I don't have enough. I'm not enough. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. So, that's what I mean in the beginning of the podcast when I said it's really important to clear the blocks and barriers so that you can achieve the results you want in manifestation. Everybody's talking about, manifestation, man, just do this, just, dream about what you want. You can dream all you want. But if you have a belief system that says otherwise, if you have a belief system that is putting out lack, that you're not going to be okay if you don't get it, right? Or you put out a belief system that says, it starts to come in and you're saying, I don't know what to do with this success. I've been there. What do I do? Right? You don't believe that you deserve to be successful. You're carrying around a worthiness issue. Those are blocks and barriers to successful manifestation. You've got to clear those out through some coaching. You have to get involved. There's whatever you want to do to clear it out. I don't want to just focus on coaching. There's many ways to clear it out. but you have to address it. You have to be willing to become aware of what that conditioned thinking is. You have to become aware of what your 0 to 7 programming is. And you need to clear out those blocks and barriers so that you can believe, truly, authentically believe, and put that energy out that what you're manifesting, you deserve and can have. It's one of the biggest things I had to get over, right? In my manifestation practice is a belief that I didn't deserve to have, that it wasn't okay to have. It is okay to have, and I am worthy and deserve it. It took a long time for me to address those early years of programming and get rid of that. But I'm happy to report it is gone.
Cool. I just wanted a little pause there. So somehow back when I first started my company, Vision Dynamics, my dad and I would load up the car on our closed day. We'd put a bunch of adaptive technologies, low tech, medium tech, high tech, and we'd head out to an affluent senior facility. And then we would do a little dog and pony show and set it up, and I would talk a bit. No, I don't know. All I'm doing is saying, hi, I'm Charlie. I've been legally blind for this many years. I have a form of macular degeneration, and they're like, oh, yeah, me too. And then I might tell them a little bit about my journey, but not knowing what I'm doing. And then I would go along the table and say, this light really helps you see, and I would talk about the product. And then people come up and but there were always some people that said, you should do more of this. Do more of what, ma'am? You should speak more. I really was connected to you. I'm like, what? I don't even know what you're talking about. And then people started saying, Brenda, you should write a book. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Like I have a high school degree, ma'am. I don't even know how to spell. See, I still, even though I was chugging along, I still had that belief system and that programming that I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I'm not smart enough. And I got to work on that. And that's what allowed me to really kick into this law of attraction. It's a law. Why do they call it a law of attraction? Why do they have a movie and a book called The Secret? Well, it really isn't, but it still is. Most people don't. It's for everybody. It isn't just for me or you or people that listen to it. But you gotta open up that. Oh, you mean just because I'm going to say I am fit and thin because I eat healthy foods and I exercise. And then my subconscious is, no, you're not, you're fat. Shut it already. I'm trying these affirmations. I am fit and thin but yes, I do have extra weight in my body and it doesn't make me a loser. I'm not a jerk because of it. It's something that I own, I accept, but I am fit and thin. And I am, because I do eat healthy foods and I walk every day. I changed it up and I started, being that guy. And that guy shed some weight. That guy put some weight back on. That guy shedded some weight again.
Yeah. You are being that which you want. You're being that which you're asking the universe to give you. You're believing in yourself and you're making the appropriate changes to achieve what you're trying to manifest. And you're participating in it. There's a big difference because manifestation has nothing to do with achievement. It has to do with participation. It has to do with collaboration with the universe and your highest good. And it goes back to what you're saying. It goes back to, again, we attract what we are. What we are. And there is, there's a practitioner out there. I forget her name now. I did this for a while. It's part of a Vedic meditation where you pick a mantra and you say it over and over and over again for like 3 minutes a day for 40 days. And I used to start my day out like that. And that is a way to get some of the messages to break through into your subconscious brain by repeating it like that. And for a period of time, it does actually work. So before we get going, the secret, some people are putting some suggestions here in the chat about which I want to shout out because there's a little something for everybody out there, right?
Right.
So Gray is saying be, do, have, not, have, do, be, or do. Have, be. Happy, purposeful first. Then one can do or have what they want. It's that simple. So be to do to have, be, do, have not, have, do, be. We'll have to get him on so he can explain that. That'd be a great topic for a podcast. We'll have to invite him to be a guest. And then Trish is saying The Secret and The Magic, both great books. Like, Attract, Like, read Illusions by Richard Bach. Thank you for that. Other people are saying good morning. Carrie is saying Law of Attraction. She's loving it. Excellent. Okay. So I'm interested about what Grace Summers.
But nothing from Carrie and Carrie. Hi, Carrie. No, Cassidy and Evan.
Cassidy and Evan, yes. Hold on, because sometimes it scrolls away. Let me see. Yes, Cassidy is saying good morning. Hi, Cassidy and Evan.
Aha! I got my eye on you.
So, Charlie, you'll have to get in touch with Gray so he can talk about the be, do, have not, have, do, be, or do, have, be, happy, purposeful first. That's a great. Can you do a thumbnail on that?
That's a step one. Yes. So anyway, I'm gonna just throw out the rest of this before we bring this. Oh, I got a few minutes. So Brenda. So I was getting a little nudge from the universe, right, through those people. I had a little every so often I would say, yeah, maybe no, but something shifted. Because I started doing more work, I go back to what you said. I got to look at what is my resentment. What is my self-defeating thought process? And I can't do a solitary self-appraisal on that stuff. I could, because I'm not going to see it as clearly as somebody like you that could ask me some questions, not to harm me, not to shame me, but to help me go within to say, there it is. That little sucker I've been believing for years. Goodbye. Maybe it's not that simple, but it is. I just identify it and I say, is that serving me? No. Is it possible? Yes. Can I? Yes. Will I someday? Yes. Okay, let's build that ideal and work on that. So I don't know that, but I'm getting little inner promptings. And and more people, I'm doing that as the years went by. And all of a sudden, I'm doing more talks. And more talks. Mm-hmm. And I go to a conference. I won't go through the whole thing, but why am I at this conference? I've never stood up in front of more than 12, 15 people, right? Maybe 20, whatever. And there's well over 400. But why am I on the first day when it was announced by the end of the week? It was a 7-day conference that 2 people were going to get chosen to speak on stage. Why am I every morning, every lunch, every break in the afternoon, every evening, walking in my massive condo in Scottsdale, Arizona, practicing talking to an audience, even though I go, I'm never going to do it, but just in case. And I ended up being picked because I accidentally manifested it. But without that and without the fear and moving through it, I wouldn't be able to become an international speaker, a best-selling author, and the things that little lady, I still remember her. She was shorter than me. You should write a book, Sonny. And I said, you could write it. And thank God for her, because she was the universe coming to me saying, it's going to happen. I'm going to plant the seed. You need to do some work to remove your blocks, but trust me, you're going to tap back into that thought and then it's going to grow. Yeah. And it did.
Yeah. And the thing is, Charlie, is that people will come in and out all the time that are there to carry that message and to be that person for you. And we sometimes miss it because we're so caught up in here. Mm-hmm. And we're not paying attention. So if you are going to be practicing manifestation techniques, if you are in a position to go in and really feel and believe that which you desire, make sure that you're aware, make sure that you're in the present moment so that when the universe gives you, when the universe gives you that opportunity or brings that person or opens that door, that you're in the present moment enough to be aware that it's even happening. You were in the present moment enough to be aware it was happening, to be aware. And you wrote a book. You were in a receiving position for that message.
Yes. Thank you. I was in vision there. You broke it. No, I'm just kidding. And Brenda, you know what else happens when you start to when you first clear up the wreckage of the past? You look at like you said, why am I upset? Why am I getting angry when I do this? Why do I hate shopping? Why, so I kind of, remove that. I kind of identify my blocks, my negative patterns, my this, and this stuff is, it's not going to be that way. I guess if you're grumpy or whatever it is, it's just a programming you have formed over the years. And it's, a lot of people, I just don't want you to think like you're bad because of it. It is what it is. Yeah. Get over it. Take a look at it. Do the work or not. It's your choice. I always say it's your choice. The ball is in your court. I'm here to serve you and help you. And I'm not saying that to everybody. I'm talking to an individual I'm working with, and I'm here to help. But you've got to take the daily action, and I will mentor and help you along this journey. And trust me, that ideal, that position at work, that loving relationship, and that what you will desire will all be there for you.
As it has been for us. This has been a great podcast, Charlie. Great podcast today. Thanks to everybody who came. We have a bunch of new people that came in today.
Yahoo.
That's always nice.
I wonder what's happening.
Right? Could it be manifestation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of great people on this podcast that are always sharing it.
Always here.
And they're telling their friends, family. My family's a great support, helping so people are sharing with other people. And that's what we do when we find something good. And we also like to share when somebody does something bad. Sorry.
All right, Charlie.
All right. So we're bringing this one to a close. Brenda, thank you for your time, your insights. And I love doing this with you. And I can't wait to do it. Next weekend.
Yes. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.